Well, welcome. This is our first ever virtual Wednesday night kids club, so welcome to our inaugural edition. Please bear with us. We hope that this works right, but if there are some kinks in the process, we'll try to fix them, but be patient with us as we get the hang of this. We are going to be streaming here every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. We're also going to be referring to the MGBC Kids Facebook page. So parents, if you're not a member there, go ahead and jump over there while your kids are watching and request to be added. And I'm going to be online from 7 to 8 tonight, and I'll approve you right away so that you can jump into the conversation. So kids, we are going to do a little bit of an interactive activity tonight. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to close your eyes and think for a minute of your favorite Bible story. Okay, everybody think. You have one? Okay, so on the count of 3, I want you to shout out as loud as you can what your favorite Bible story is. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, those are all very good ideas. I like that very much. I have a couple favorites. I know you guys have heard this before. I love the story of when God shoots down fire for Elijah on the top of the mountain. I think that's an awesome display of power. I love the story of Daniel in the lion's den when no one expects God to close the mouths of the lions. But today, we're going to focus on the story of Noah's Ark. And you can see behind me, we're going to talk about how God displays his power through the miracle of Noah's Ark. So I thought tonight we would focus a little bit on that story and let you interact with it a little bit. We're going to talk about God's faithfulness and how he protected Noah and his family. Think about for a minute how crazy this time must have been for Noah. There had never been rain before. He didn't have any understanding of what that meant. He lived in the middle of a desert, so there was no water around him, and yet God told him to build an ark. And people thought he was crazy. His family even thought he was a little bit crazy. People made fun of him, and yet he followed God's plan. God gave him directions, and he did exactly what God told him to do, and it took a really long time, but he eventually built an ark. And God used that ark, and he used Noah believing in him to save Noah and his family from the worldwide destruction. And I think it's a very appropriate story right now. I mean, our world is a little bit crazy right now. But I think about how faithful God is, and God will give us directions. God will tell us exactly what it is that he wants us to do. And so I would encourage you, as you're studying the lesson of Noah's Ark tonight, I want you to think about how God is faithful and has always provided for you and your family. Okay, does anybody know what part of the Bible Noah is in? Is it in the Old Testament or the New Testament? You're right, it's in the Old Testament. This is a story that happened before Jesus was born. It's in the very first book of the Bible. Shout if you know what the name of the first book of the Bible is. That's right, it's Genesis. So when you're practicing tonight for your challenge, I want you to use your Bibles. I want you to look up the story in Genesis. It's in chapters 5 through 9. Spend a little bit of time reading and refreshing your memory. And then, here's your challenge. I know you're going to be excited about this. I want you to find a way to creatively retell the story of Noah's Ark. Now, this can take a lot of different forms. You could use the people in your family as characters and act out the story and have costumes. You could use Play-Doh and create different characters and use your hands to act them out. You can find props in your house. You can use whatever you like. You could draw pictures and have an animated story. You could even write a story and tell the story from an animal's perspective that was on the ark. You can be as creative as you want to. I'm sure you have lots of ideas. Parents, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to record your kids' final project, okay? This can be hopefully about 2 minutes. We'd like a real short video, so they might need to condense the story down a little bit. And we'd like you to post this video on the kids' Facebook page under the comments for the directions that I'm leaving there. This is a closed group just for our church family, so no one else other than our church family is going to see this video. But we thought it would be really fun for us to get to see into each other's homes and for the kids to get to see their friends and what their friends have created. It doesn't have to be tonight. If your kids are working on it tonight and they run out of time, that's fine. You can do it anytime tomorrow. Hey, your kids have all day tomorrow to work on this. So you can stretch this out as long as you'd want. Whenever you finish, post the video so that we can all enjoy it. Okay, so I thought I'd give you an example of what this is going to look like, and you all know that I'm not very creative, so I gathered some props from the nursery, and I'm going to retell the story of Noah's Ark for you to watch and to get some ideas. So this is Noah, and this is his wife, Mrs. Noah. And they were living their life as normal in a crazy land, and suddenly God told Noah to build an ark. And so he told Noah to gather some materials, and so he worked on building this ark for a very long time, and he finally had the whole ark built with the plans that God had given to him. And God told him it was time to load up the ark. And not only did God help him build the ark, but he brought along some helpers for him. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and each one of them had a wife. And so as they were building the ark, these people were helping Noah. And God brought animals to help fill the ark. He brought 2 of every kind. He brought 2 zebras. He brought 2 elephants, and they all got on the ark. He brought 2 lions, and the lions got on the ark. He brought 2 giraffes, and the giraffes got on the ark. And he brought lots of other animals. There were even some fish that came later in the story. Okay, then God said it was time to fill up the ark with the people. So all of the people in Noah's family got on the ark. And God said to Noah, he said, you get on the ark too, and I'm going to close the door. And so he closed the door to the ark. And then it began to rain. And the people in Noah's land had never seen rain before. And so it began to rain in Noah's land. And it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. And then God brought out the sun. And the sun dried the land all up so that there wasn't any more rain and there was dry ground for them to come out on. And so they finally opened the ark when God told them it was time. And all of the people in the ark and all of the animals came out onto dry ground. And Noah and his family celebrated and worshiped God. And they talked to God and told him how thankful they were. And God sent a rainbow to promise that he would never again do that in this land. Okay, so now you know what you have to do. Please be way more creative than I was. I want you to use your best thoughts, your best ideas, sit down with your family and brainstorm a little bit, get your Bibles out and read the story, and then I want you to put together a very creative retelling of the story of Noah. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Parents, you can again post this on the kids' Facebook page, and no one else other than our church family will see this. So have a great night. I hope you enjoy spending time together, and we'll see you next week.